So my last video, I talked about why we need to stop calling an increase in crime an infestation. Now I want to talk about how do we define crime. I touched on it a little bit, but the way our laws in the United States have been written, you are considered a criminal if you commit an offense for which the government has decided you should be punished above a certain threshold. A little fuzzy on the law. I'm not a lawyer, um, but I did take some pre-law enforcement courses, whatever, as a security guard. Basically, there's some things called infractions. Most of your speeding tickets, running a stop sign. It's illegal, but instead of going to jail, you just pay a fine, right? Those are infractions. Then you have misdemeanors, which are crimes. That's the first level of a crime. Illegal does not mean criminal. Criminal means, at minimum, a misdemeanor. So you could have a misdemeanor, which is something like less than a year in prison and less than, I don't remember if it's $5,000 or $10,000 fine. And then you have felonies. So like a year in prison, $5,000 or $10,000 or more in fines. So you can be doing things that are illegal without doing things that are criminal. So jaywalking, speeding, in some states, having cannabis. Those things are illegal, but not criminal. In other states, you could have cannabis and be deemed criminal. And then they decide whether the amount of cannabis you have in your possession, supposedly in your possession, is a criminal amount. Is a felonious amount or misdemeanor amount. And we're not talking a big difference. It's actually kind of ludicrous. And it's really frustrating because the St. Petersburg Police Department, and I used to live in St. Petersburg. I don't live there anymore, but I remember this from the time that I did. It's only like 2 or 3 years ago. Said that they were no longer arresting people for simple possession, right? Well, instead of arresting people for possession, they would arrest people for the same amount, but they would accuse them of dealing. And so they pretend that they're attacking dealers when they're just attacking the same people and falsely accusing them of dealing so they can keep their arrest numbers up. So what's the correct solution? Possession of cannabis should not be illegal. It should not be an infraction, and it should not be a crime. And there should be no amount of cannabis in your possession that is considered a felony. The government is wrong to punish people for having a plant.